And I think
we got the green light.
We got the green light. We got the go. All signals are go.
All signals are go.
All signals are go, Captain.
Countdown to this and that. Actually, it's already going.
It's already going.
All right.
We're already there.
We missed the countdown.
We've launched.
All right.
We've launched. We're now cruising into the atmosphere.
Speaking of launching and cruising, thanks for all of our new subscribers in the last week, guys. We really appreciate it. This has been a lot of fun to watch.
Pretend to understand any longer how YouTube works.
I never did.
The weeks I thought I had every week at the beginning I was like, okay, I'm figuring this out, I'm seeing how this works, and then we get to episode 11, 12, we're up in the teens, and all of a sudden the episodes that I think are going to be really great are the ones that underperform my expectations. And I want to say that I don't have grand expectations. I know that we're starting out somewhere, and we got to grow gradually, but we've had more, I'll say success. That might be a big word for what I'm trying to describe at the moment. But we've had some more success than I thought we were going to have.
Small successes.
Small successes, yes. More views on our videos overall than I thought we would have at this point. Way more subscribers than I thought we'd have at this point.
I've gotten some nice comments from folks too, friends and acquaintances and people that I haven't talked to in a long time that said that sent me a message and be like, hey, by the way, I just watched one of your guys' episodes. It's a lot of fun.
Sir, excuse me. Are you?
Do you know who I am?
Excuse me, sir. Do you host a podcast?
Do you host a podcast called This and That? No,
you bitch. Oh yeah, it feels.
What are we doing?
It feels good to be back every week.
It really does.
I have no goddamn energy this past week, and it's bleeding into today. I don't know if it's just the heat that we've been having around here.
It's been hot.
I find it muggy.
I find it hard to get motivated whenever I'm just feeling hot. You just kind of feel tired a little bit.
I don't know what it is. I've just been not feeling under the weather. Under the weather's too strong, but you know what I mean. I just haven't really wanted to do anything for the last week.
Just call that your little summertime depression.
Yeah, I guess that's life with depression. It's not seasonal for me. It comes and goes all year round.
There's a great song by this is a new artist I've listened to called Girl in Red. I think she's Scandinavian.
Okay, yeah, never heard.
Really cool pop artist, and she has a song called Summertime Depression that I've been listening to.
I'll have to check it out.
Check it out because you're literally striking the mood right on the nail on the head right now with it. Yeah,
yeah, no, it's even at work.
I mean, you're bumming me out.
The last couple of days. Yeah. I'm sure. I know. I'm self-aware enough when I get in these modes of low energy and whatever that the people around me must think that I'm a total asshole, but it's not. No. I'm not outwardly trying.
I don't think you're an asshole. It's just you do exude just not a negative energy, but just
negative energy,
a low energy.
I definitely know it. I recognize it and I feel it, and I don't intend to make anyone around me uncomfortable. Yeah. I just at 33 years old, I'm over acting like everything's fine if I'm feeling a certain way.
Good.
So I'll make it known that it's nothing that anyone around me is doing. It's just hey, I'm feeling super low energy today. Don't take it personally. If I don't, it's nothing personal.
Yeah, but that's honest. You know what?
That's what I'm trying. Yeah, exactly.
And I posit that the world would be a better place if more people would just own up to how they feel and stop pretending to be like everyth's okay.
I used to just bottle everything up and keep it all in and try to put on a happy face. Nah,
it's no good.
Yeah.
See, Maniac knows what's up.
Maniac knows what's up.
Maniac is high on life.
I realized that it was just it was so terrible all the time. Once I stopped drinking, though, I realized that was an untenable way of life for me. So I started to the New Yorker in me started to come out a little bit more, and I started to tell people, I got a problem with you. I got a problem. What's the? It's an obscure Juggalo reference here, but we've used it. I think we've used it on the show before. If I got a problem with you, I say it to your face, motherfucker. Fuck you.
Hey, but I mean,
while I'm not quite as aggressive, I tend to try to express in the most constructive way possible how I'm feeling, even if it's if it's a potentially negative thing.
No, that's
like,
right. That's right
I'm
on.
gonna,
Though.
I want to address the elephant in the room when it's in the room. Don't talk about it after it's happened, or let that shit build.
No, you can't do that.
Yeah.
That's not the way to go about life.
No, but I think it's a good rule of thumb for people.
What an interesting tie-in to our topic. You talk about letting things in and letting them build up, and then having to have them be unleashed.
Yeah,
we're talking about. I'm talking about going berserk.
Berserker. Yeah, I want to get to that in 1 second, but I also I signed up for not signed up. I reactivated my Tinder account this past week just to thumb through.
The dumpster fire?
Jesus Christ, I think I'm just going to get a puppy.
You will not be disappointed, except for one day in like 10 years.
It's been about 9-10 months since the last time I had Tinder active on my phone. At the beginning of quarantine, I was thumbing through just to see what was up. And I downloaded it again this past week, and I was looking through, and I must have gotten a match with somebody last time that I either didn't see or ignored.
So you gotta imagine they've just been sitting in limbo.
But
that is some juicy news.
The message has been sitting in my Tinder inbox for like 9-10 months.
What was it? Hey.
It was. I mean, the
hey.
message itself was kind of an inane starter message, but I clicked on the girl's profile just to see what she was up to like these days. And I guess on Tinder you can post like your bio and stuff like that. But you don't have to put a bio. You can put whatever you want there.
Some people don't even have anything.
This girl put, "Fuck this. I'm done with everything." Period.
They died suddenly.
If that isn't just the collective mood,
right? I was like, "Holy shit, man!" Like, I wish I would have. I didn't message her back. Like, if this was like 10 months later, be like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" Just pretend like no time has passed whatsoever.
And then we find that 10 months later, all of a sudden, like you were the reason. Like she finds like, "Oh my god, I found this guy on Tinder named Matt. He looks so perfect for me." I sent him a message, and then I just never heard back, and he spiraled into depression, and it's all your fault.
I'm only human, so my first instinct was, "Oh shit, I never messaged her back." So she just said, "Fuck this place. I'm over it. I'm done with it."
You can still grow to a full amount of beauty.
Maniac, I hope that she knows that. I wish some way we could get that message from your mouth to her ears, because there was that momentary thought where I was the center of the universe, where I was like, man, I really fucked her life up. She wants nothing to do with anything from now on. She's over it all.
We should make it up. We should make a Tinder account for Maniac. And just like he's like, not here for dating. I'm just high on life.
Man, if I was ever, I'm just gonna start anytime I go to a new state or city or place. I'm just gonna start thumbing through Tinder, so I can. Yeah. I'm hoping to stumble across Maniac in my ventures in the wild someday.
It would be that's like a unicorn. It's your white whale.
She really is my white whale. I feel like I would. I think I love you, but what am I so afraid of? I get up on it. She likes that. See, Maniac likes big shows of emotion and gestures.
I'm a happy motherfucker.
You are a happy motherfucker.
One happy
you know what?
motherfucker
You make me
indeed.
happy. This is the happiest I've felt in a week, Maniac. She's a goddamn champion in my book. If I can put Maniac, we have Juggalos represented in the Hall of Champions. In my eyes, that's just Maniac. It is just Maniac.
Well, Maniac kind of like represents Juggalos. She is that free, loving spirit.
I might.
And you guys.
I might this week. I might work on making a little Maniac to put up there.
Please do.
I don't want to remove ICP in the Juggalos thing.
No. Keep Violent J and Shaggy up there.
In addition, I think Maniac has earned her rightful place. Whoop, whoop. We've talked about Maniac.
Whoop, indeed.
We've talked about Maniac in every episode since we watched the Gathering documentary.
Not. She's just adorable.
I mean, every out of all of the colorful people in that documentary and any Juggalo documentary that you'll watch, she stuck out to me.
Her and of course, I'm a motherfucking nice person.
Well, yeah, that guy. I mean, I still have hopes of also crossing paths with hymns.
or poetically, what if him and Maniac end up getting together?
I'd be okay with it.
And then Maniac gains a whole bunch of weight with all of his good chicken fried steak.
No, don't do that.
But then they're gonna lose all the weight back together.
Well, see, I
and bond through the process. Remember,
hope that-
that's his dream. That's his goal.
I hope that those two. No, first off, this isn't my big hope. My hope is that she comes running into my arms, and I get to drive her around in my 2012 Nissan Sentra. Excuse me, sir. Dad, we're doing a show right now.
Come on.
Is it that important? Can it wait until I don't want to go wash the car. It's raining outside. You don't understand. Like, when it rains, those drops are going to leave marks on the car, and it's just going to look like
streak. It's not going to look good.
It's not going to look good.
Yeah,
it's going to streak.
Mr. Bright, you got to...
Wait a minute.
Oh, fuck.
A+ shout out right now to our new producer, Rich. I finally foisted the responsibility of trying to find all the sound drops onto myself
here. It's been our secret plan this entire time. It's amazing to me.
Well, I guess.
It has always been in the back of my mind that is the first position other than us that needs to be filled is a off-screen
producer,
off-screen, on-screen. You know, eventually when we have the capabilities of putting them on screen.
That's what the white man calls them.
That's what people call producers.
Yeah. We wanted to fill that position, so the fact that somebody wants to do that position
it's amazing.
It's amazing to me because like I said, we're only 19 episodes in, and it's nice that we have somebody that wanted to do it, that likes what we're doing, and we're happy to have them.
Absolutely.
And it's nice to have somebody else working the sound drops.
Heck yeah.
Because now they're surprising for both of us. Because before I could kind of tell whenever
you have a gleam in my eye.
You would kind of stare at me, and I could see that you were down there trying not to look, but fiddle with something, and I'm like, okay, there's a drop coming.
There's a drop coming. But
Punk ass.
Yeah, you little punk ass.
But then, do you know what I was
Shout out
up
to that guy.
Yeah, Billy Big
Billy
Balls.
Big Balls.
Billy Big Balls.
If you didn't watch last week's episode, skip to the end,
Just
like the
skip to
last
the
10 minutes or so.
The last 10 minutes is Lady Repentance. That's before
that's right,
that.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's
probably
before.
like 3/4 of the way through.
Yeah.
Probably.
So maybe
You better,
about.
you better get your boy.
You better get your boy.
You better get, I love the stutter on that one.
Yeah.
You better get your boy.
Play that one again, Rich.
He fucking.
You better get your boy.
You better get your boy. He's like he is in such a position of power that he's fumbling over his own power. His own power. His own power is surprising him in these moments. It does almost sound like the kind of guy who never does this sort of thing and is surprising himself every time.
Oh yeah, like all of a sudden, like he didn't realize, like I didn't know I had that in me.
Yeah, like
oh my god, I can't believe
he's like. I just picture him sitting in his own car across the street from that police department,
just like
sweating,
stealing his nerves,
just like amping himself up, probably listening to like ABBA or something like that, and like
ABBA.
He's the dancing queen.
You quit drinking on the job. You understand me?
And he's going through all these things that he's gonna say, all these points he's gonna touch on, and what his evidence is, and then he sees the cop and his buddy. I assume that those two pull up together from like a lunch, or maybe they're just both coming in at the same time, coincidentally.
You can't tell from the video.
Either way, he sees this all. He's like, okay, this is my moment. This is your moment, Billy. This is your moment, Billy.
I'm an investigator.
He slaps himself a couple times.
Yeah.
He rips his jewel.
It takes a fat rip off his jewel.
And he gets his cell phone camera out, and he's like, you know what, we're doing this. You woke up this morning a winner. Your mom was wrong about you.
You walked away, and you walked away a raging bull.
I'm asking the questions in my life now.
Oh my god! Yeah,
You're
seriously.
not asking the questions in my life anymore, Mom. You need to quit drinking on the job, sir.
Shut the hell up.
And everyone around him's like, whoa, Billy's really having a day here.
Yeah, holy crap.
Holy shit, Billy.
He's just an investigator on the side. Normally, he's like a librarian.
Well, I love the fact that our producer has inside knowledge. You can just trash talk cops like that.
It's not illegal.
No. Completely fine. So once again, I'm going to, as long as it's not going to endanger your life, fucking trash talk the cops. Like, I mean, if you're just walking down the street and you see a cop across the street, just like you think he might be up to no good, just yell something at him. He can't really do anything to you. I mean, the worst.
I would use discretion.
I said, I mean, use discretion, but you know.
When you say we're not financial advisors, we are not life coaches.
Yeah, exactly. This is. You should not be coming to us for any.
Tomorrow we see that somebody got like beat up by the police or something like that because they started hurling insults at them. It was like, yeah, we're out of here. Sorry guys, we did not have that idea.
Rogue
That's totally not on.
Host.
We're going rogue.
Yeah, we're going rogue. We're our minions. We're unleashing our minions.
We're gonna have to get all of our savings up.
You know what? If we're building an army, let's look at our front line here. We have Lady Repentance.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Lady Repentance. What position do you think she's going to hold in our army?
Lady Repentance is, I guess she's the bard.
Bard.
Because she casts she casts intimidation.
What was up with that?
People.
Was that?
Oh, that was you and me.
Oh, that was the two of us. Okay.
Yeah, I snipped that one of you and
that's okay.
That's
no,
clearly...
it just sounded like there was an just sounded like there was an effect on it or something. I didn't notice that.
The effect is joy.
Joy. It is joy. Get the fuck out of here! I'm just trying to help you,
No to that.
motherfucker.
Motherfucker. I was going through under Lady Repentance.
Yeah. So Lady Repentance is the bard. We got Maniac. She's a 4-star goddamn
Here she
general.
Yes.
Maniac's a 4-star general in my army. Who else we got? We got the Beast. We got Randy. We got Lady Repentance. We got Billy Big Balls.
LA Beast could hold them.
Fuck it, I like this idea. Let's build an army right now. Let's build the this and that army. Let's build the this and that army. We got Beast. We got Juggalos. Everybody that we've talked about is on the board. Scott Yancey, Teresa Caputo.
Whatever they throw at him, Randy's just gonna catch it and eat it.
I was gonna say Randy. I'm trying to. I guess this is where my lack of technical knowledge of military positions is coming in. I know the generals and the soldiers and the captains and platoon leaders.
So it starts out when you just start out, you're just a
you're an E1. I know that much.
You become Rich, do you have military knowledge? It's corporal and then it goes lieutenant.
Just goes private.
Oh, private.
Yeah, private.
Class.
Private is an E1, I believe. Okay, so I was. This is a little bit of my backstory. I was denied from 2 different branches of military.
Oh.
I tried to sign up for the Navy in 12th grade. I wanted to go to the Navy right after high school, and my kidney stones. At that time, I was having a big problem with kidney stones.
Your
and
kidneys had failed you.
My kidneys had fucking failed me. God damn it. Yes, that is the most true life fucking sound drop in this moment. Yes, my kidneys failed me, so I had a surgery to remove 2 kidney stones within 6 months of trying to enlist in the Navy, and they told me that I needed to wait an entire year from the date of my surgery.
Oh wow!
Free of kidney stones before have a doctor check off on that before they would accept me. I guess even back in 2006, the Navy wasn't hard up for sailors. They were.
I don't know why this is a funny sentence.
They were a little pickier than the Army or whatever. So.
Wait, that was. Wait, I could have called phrasing on that. The Navy's hard up for sailors.
I didn't intend that to be funny like that, but yeah, I get what you're saying. I'll pat myself on the back for an unintended
double entendre.
Yeah, I did not. I wish I could take credit for it, but yeah.
I'm taking credit for pointing it out.
That works for me. Yeah, fucking. So I got turned down for the Navy, and then about 6 months. 6 months after I was turned down for the Navy, I had numerous kidney stones within that first 6 months. So it's like, well, fuck, that's probably just not going to happen. So my girlfriend at the time and I were looking at the National Guard, and this story kind of has a fucked up ending. We were going out to all of the outings that the National Guard had. We went to the recruiter first, and then we went to this hotel out in Robinson for this big recruiting thing where they gave us backpacks and all kind of shit, and free pizza, and they're just they're trying to hook all these impressionable just about to graduate, graduated high school kids.
Got to go get that oil somehow.
So my girlfriend and I, or at the time, were both okay, we're gonna sign up for the National Guard, and we go through all of the shit, and then the day comes where they pick us up and they take us down to the federal building to actually enlist, where they do your physical and you pick your military job, your ordnance and all that shit.
Yeah.
That morning came and I decided, because I had watched the True Hollywood Story of Home Improvement the night before. That I no longer wanted to be in the military, and I wanted to pursue. Yeah, it was not a good day for a lot of people. Whenever I woke up and made this decision at like 5:30 in the morning, they were going to pick me up at 7 or something like that.
The day of,
the morning of. Yeah, I woke up. I had watched the True Hollywood Story of Home Improvement, and up to that point, I had had a massive interest in film, television, stand-up, but had never done anything to actually pursue it. I didn't know how. I didn't know what. But
it was your epiphany.
It was. I watched the True Hollywood Story. And I always loved Home Improvement, but I think this is why it kind of went up even a couple notches in my book of like TV shows. I'm so glad you found it. I'm so glad you found it.
I knew he was looking for it too.
I've been trying to circle back to Home Improvement for like. No, we got a lot of sound drops, and we got a brand new producer who's learning the curve here.
He's using my phone.
Yeah, it's also not his own organization.
Exactly.
So anyway, Home Improvement. Watching all the behind the scenes.
You said, "Oh my God, I could go into acting.
I said
could be in. This is something that people do. That's something I could do."
I didn't even know, like, oh, well, I can go into acting or anything at that point. I just knew that it was like, okay, well, look, there's an entire room of people doing that. Mm-hmm. It's not just Tim Allen and his family. It's not, Maniac. They have a whole cast and crew, and, they have a whole live audience and catering, and the film sets are big, populated areas.
I've never been on a film set.
It's exciting. I'll get you on a film set, even if it's a low-budget short film.
I don't care. I just want to
get
be
you on a film set, and then we can work up from there.
Well, no, that's right on, though, man, because like you said, it's not just the people on screen. There's a whole
everything.
Team of people, and guess what? There's lots of production companies. There's lots of people that do those jobs. You could be one of those people.
Watching that, I looked at all the people, all the gaffers and the lighting and the riggers and everybody, and was like,
what was the first? Gaffers.
Gaffers. Gaffers.
Okay.
Fake emails.
Fake emails.
No, that's a gaff.
That is a gaff.
What's a gaffer?
A gaffer. Okay, you're going to test my own knowledge here. I believe they're the person that sets up the lights.
Okay.
Gaffers set up lighting and rigging wires and stuff. There's special tape called gaffer's tape, which is like it'll stick to any goddamn surface you put it on. And it's almost like canvas.
Oh.
Yeah, it's almost like canvas. But anytime you're in a concert or something and you see wires that are taped over, like so no one trips over them, that's gaffer's tape usually.
Okay.
If it's not straight up duct tape. Mom, Jesus Christ, we're in the middle of a show, you guys, every week with this shit.
Talking about gaffers here.
I know you're disappointed I didn't go to a traditional college program. So I fully thank Tim Allen and the Home Improvement cast and crew,
Richard Karn,
for the epiphany of like, well, I don't know if I could necessarily be Tim Allen, but I could be the guy working that camera, or I could be the guy that's holding that binder.
And so at this moment in your life, you're literally about to launch into this next phase, and you said, wait a minute.
Literally going downtown.
There's another way.
That morning, within hours, to sign my life over to the government for 4 years, plus 2 inactive. So like a 6-year commitment total to a military service. And
knowing you now,
I was going to say, could you picture me in...
No, I can't picture you in the military at all.
That morning, I woke up, decided that I wasn't joining the military. There was no second thoughts. There was no nothing. It was just like I had the epiphany that the military was not my route, and that was that. I did not have the time or the ability to get in touch with my girlfriend, who was also being picked up to go sign up for the military that morning.
Oh, bro, no.
So when my guy showed up at my front door here to pick me up, and I told him that I wasn't going, and we had our little outing, he was not the friendly recruiter that you meet in the mall. There was. I'm sure he wanted to call me a son of a bitch. He didn't call me anything vulgar, but he wanted to.
Wait, your poor girlfriend at the time goes down there and like just wondering where you are the whole time?
She's now retired from not retired, but she served 6 years in the National Guard.
Wow.
She went through with it. So at like noon that day, whenever she gets back and she's like enlisted, she got a job and a fucking ship out date and everything. She's like, so how'd it go for you? And I'm like, about that. I'm going to be a comedian. And it was within 2 weeks after that, by another random series of events, I did my first open mic.
Wow.
It's weird how life works out sometimes.
I can't imagine you guys stayed together much longer after that.
Like 2 years.
Really?
Yeah. I ended up moving to New York with her twin sister.
Oh, shit.
Her twin sister and I were always friends, but we became better friends. I just said her name out loud.
Uh-oh.
Fuck.
You can bleep it out.
Yeah. Whenever she left for basic training and AIT, like tech school for the military, that's when her sister and I started hanging out more because my girlfriend and her sister was an important person in both of our lives to that point. So it was like, well, our favorite person's gone for the next 6 months. We might as well become friends. So we did, and that's like, we
kind of commiserate.
We started making plans to move to New York and everything, but like I was doing stand-up 4 or 5 nights a week all around Pittsburgh. I drove to West Virginia a couple times, Ohio. Like I was out there fucking doing it.
What's stand-up in West Virginia like?
It's... I mean, honestly, I've had good and bad shows everywhere.
I'm sure it depends on the room.
Even West Virginia, but yeah, it's definitely one of those, at least for me, it was always one of those types of rooms you walk into where you know that there's the potential that something you say could be a problem. Like, the idea of it just being a joke might go out the window pretty quick.
Yeah.
I got asked to not come back to the Pittsburgh Funny Bone for... it was about 2 months that I wasn't allowed to go back there.
Really?
Yeah, I was getting heckled by a lady who had a tracheotomy. And like she had one of those voice box things, and she was heckling me, and I made a comment about like something about if she keeps smoking or something. She like something about giving her husband another hole to fuck in her throat or something like that. And her husband like stood up and like tried to like get me off stage and shit. And, like,
crap.
Yeah, it was like a big thing. They asked me not to come back for a while. I think it was like a month that I wasn't able to go.
Well, I hope she learned to not heckle.
For as small and crappy as Pittsburgh's comedy scene is, and I'm not talking about the comics necessarily, just like the places to perform and everything.
There's not a large scene, a presence.
Back in 2006, 2000, that time whenever I was starting stand-up, there was like even less. The Funny Bone was like the place. It was like the place. So
to be banned there for even a short period of time was painful.
Not being able to perform there was like, that was Tuesday and Wednesday night taken out right off the books. That was two shows Tuesday night, 2 shows Wednesday night that were just like, well, there's my stage time from there. But
gone.
There was another local comedian named David Kay who opened a place up on 88 headed out towards South Hills Village. That was a great room, but he had some kind of falling out with the owner of the restaurant.
Oh, you told me about that place.
It was a real big restaurant, like gathering hall downstairs, but upstairs was this really small room that if you were lucky, you fit like 80 people, and they're real cramped with tables and chairs, and a real small stage, real low ceilings, real dark. It was awesome.
Perfect.
Awesome room for comedy.
Yeah.
You could hear every laugh from the back to the front. But it sucks that closed. So that's the long and short of why I'm not in the military right now. But but yeah,
what a story.
I bitched out. My girlfriend ended up joining the military.
Well, I mean,
and now I don't even do comedy anymore.
Well, I mean,
honestly, I don't do comedy around Pittsburgh because Pittsburgh is not a comedy city.
You don't do stand-up.
That's
are
true.
A comedian, though. I mean,
I do consider myself a comedian. I've never stopped considering myself a comedian.
A comedian is like,
I still get up on stage and do stand-up maybe 5 times a year the last 4 years. Whenever I really stopped slowing down, it's like being back in Pittsburgh. None of the places that are open mics for comedy are actually open mics for comedy. Nobody's there because it's an open mic night, you know?
No.
I got so jaded when I lived in New York. As like you could walk into any bar anywhere in that city on any Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Monday, and whether or not those people were there for the open mic, those people sat down and watched the open mic and participated as an audience, you know?
Yeah.
It was just like, they're not sitting at the bar, the TVs aren't on, you're not competing with all these other things. Like, I mean, sure, there's people there that aren't watching, of course, but
yeah.
You could perform for 85 people in a crowded bar
anywhere
on a Monday or Tuesday night in any part of New York City, every week after week.
How many bars are in New York City?
Thousands. Wow. I tried to keep a little list of my favorite ones for a while, just so like if people came into town, I could take them back to like a place.
Here's a cool spot.
And after a while, my list got so long, it's like, well, I'm never ever going to be able to go back to all of these places, so I just stopped. There's got to be thousands. On Manhattan alone, there's got to be thousands. I mean,
it's insane.
Cool.
It's not like to my knowledge, none of the areas that I'd ever seen in New York are like Carson Street, where it's like 5 bars per block, either side of the street. You know what I mean? You're just surrounded by it constantly. But there's at least one every other block.
So that's just so cool because like I don't have that experience here. Like
Well, it sucks around here. Going to any open mics, you're competing with televisions. With God forbid a sports game is on, like with a Pittsburgh team
in this town.
Yeah, it's God forbid. And then none of the rooms, like the only open mic that I hear any of the local comics talking about right now is up in Mount Washington, and I've done that open mic a handful of times, and it's a terrible setup for comedy. First off, it's a great, really small room, but I would say 3/4 of that square room is a big square bar in the middle of the room.
Oh.
So it's basically a horseshoe shape where people can sit, and then they shove the stage. It's literally like this little enclave cut out of the wall that's about as wide as your shoulders. And then you're just sitting with one single line of people's backs to you, and then across this big-ass square bar, you can kind of see some faces, and then you have whatever people are sitting over here not paying attention to you because there's a giant 60-inch television above the fucking bar.
That's where you put somebody who's like playing mood music.
You don't even do that there, I don't think, honestly. I don't even think it would be respectful to somebody playing mood music.
Yeah.
It's not a good room. Like it's not necessarily, again, the comics or anything like that. It's just not a good room for comedy, and it's unfortunate that it's one of the only rooms that's out there right now.
I hope that as things are opening back up, that maybe it finds a foothold in the city.
I hope so. Steve Hofstetter, he's a comedian.
Oh, I know Steve Hofstetter,
He just moved to Pittsburgh.
Oh, did he?
And he bought an old church somewhere. Can we get some Google on this? Steve Hofstetter, Pittsburgh Comedy Church or something.
I follow him on I follow him on Facebook because I like watching his videos of him like shooting down hecklers.
Yeah,
he's very good at it.
That's what he's got his name for. He randomly walked into the last weekend or the weekend before recently, and I got to talk to him for like almost a fucking hour.
I didn't know that.
Just he stood there in the lobby with me talking while the show was going on, and he was telling me about. My first question was like, "Why did you move to Pittsburgh?" And he was like, "Honestly, I saw the real estate first," and I was like, "So." That answer either means you're happy with your move, or, and he was like, I found the real estate first. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of what I thought.
It is the Stanton Heights United Methodist Church.
Yes.
Oh,
so
okay.
It's was an abandoned church that he bought. Does it say anything about what he's planning on doing there? Because I could give you my gist, but it seems like he's trying to do a lot there. It's going to be a performance space, but I think he's also going to give artists the capabilities, like the ability to live there cheap if they're coming through town or something.
Interesting.
He was giving me a lot of information.
A way station for entertainers.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess kind of. That's a good description of it. Where New Stanton? You said. Because where the fuck? That's not even really in the city.
No, Stanton Heights.
Stanton Heights. Still not really even in the city.
I can't even picture where that is. That's one of those.
I'm pretty sure that's a suburb.
So many little neighborhoods that are around here.
Let's Google this real quick.
Please do, sir.
4721 Stanton Avenue.
Not. No, there's nothing in my brain.
Stanton Heights.
Oh, that's up near the zoo.
Okay, yeah, so it is in the Pittsburgh. Okay, so it's closer to.
That's Highland. This is near Highland Park.
It's right on the fucking border of where Pittsburgh ends and whatever this is.
Okay. Cool.
Well, I guess that's still Allegheny County, but the city limits ends right with this.
It's the greater Pittsburgh area.
Yeah. That's what I used to love. I lived with a kid in Brooklyn who used to like try to shit on Pittsburgh for being such a small city, and it's like, yeah, our downtown is small, but if you take the city limits of Pittsburgh, it dwarfs New York City.
That's such a weird thing to. What a lame flex. Like some people have come from like Chicago or Miami or LA.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that first because he was actually from Chicago originally.
Oh, okay.
He was born in Chicago, raised there for a couple years, and then moved to Brooklyn whenever he was a real small child.
Okay.
But and then spend the rest of his life in Brooklyn. So he considers himself from Brooklyn, which I won't argue. But I used to like jab at him. I'd be like, "You're actually from Chicago, dude." Like I knew it kind of got at him.
That's a lame flex. Like it's like, oh, my city's bigger than your city. My dad can beat up your dad.
It's the coastal thing, I swear, because New York has it and LA have it. If you live in one of those areas, you seem to think it's the center of the universe.
So he's going to do a couple things with this place. It's going to have a main showroom with seating for 300. It has a basement recording studio that's already there. It has 40 seats, so they can do a little digital broadcasting, and it also has a living space. He's going to turn it into a house. It's 3 bedrooms that he's going to let comics live in while they're touring for free.
That's what he mentioned.
That is really cool.
It sounds like a great idea. I hope that Pittsburgh doesn't kill it by being Pittsburgh.
I want to see more. You son of a bitch! I want to see more things like happen, like with what Kevin Smith's doing with his Smodcast.
I was actually just about to Google that because whenever he said, whenever he was describing that,
getting similar vibes.
It reminded me of the Smodcastle.
It's got the studio space, and it's got the like you said, like almost like a theater as well.
Yeah, we've talked about Kevin Smith on the show, friend of the show. Kevin Smith in Xanadu did Kubla Khan, a stately pleasure dome decree. I don't know what that is. But Kevin Smith is opening up a brand new...
Oh, wow, look at that.
Well, yeah, we'll watch that in a second.
Yeah.
Brand new, like, podcasting theater.
Yeah.
It's a whole
new concept.
It's right next to the original Quick Stop from Clerks.
Which I love.
Yeah, I love it as well. That is some juicy news.
Very juicy news.
I've been to the original Quick Stop.
That's cool.
In Jersey, when I lived in New York, I made a day trip.
Is that the only reason you went to Jersey?
Yeah. That particular day, yeah. I didn't make too many.
Not to shit on Jersey, but I'm shitting on Jersey.
Shit on Jersey. You shit on it, I'll wipe my ass with it. I'll wipe my ass with what's left. The Jawbridge is about to open at Smodcastle, New Jersey's only podcast theater, located in Leonardo and founded a few feet from Quick Stop Groceries, the most famous convenience store in the world, as well as the Cradle of Clerks.
The Cradle of Clerks. Yeah, right. I love that.
Smodcastle is Kevin Smith's podcast playhouse. Receive amazing oral from real live podcasters who will use their mouths on you for money. All within the walls of this brand new, incredibly intimate black box theater.
I love Kevin Smith.
Yeah,
he's
me too.
so funny.
And then let's take a little. He's giving a little virtual tour here.
Oh my God!
Can I make this full screen? Yeah.
There we go.
You walk right in, and then look at this. And this is kind of what that room for comedy I was describing was. It was real small.
Oh, it's right. There's the Quick Stop, and it's right
next
there.
Door. I think Kevin Smith bought that entire complex. I believe he did.
He
technically owns the Quick Stop now too.
That's gonna be
just like
really
what an awesome idea, what an awesome little place.
There's a bathroom.
I want to do a live podcast from there someday.
Oh, that's a nice soundboard.
Here it is.
That's now on. Yeah, look at that gorgeous setup.
I know, right? Now,
actually, I want to pause that real quick.
Yeah, go back. So now that we've been, just maybe, now that we've been doing the podcast, anytime I see like cool soundboards and gear, I'm just like, oh, look at the gear. Oh my God, look, they got 6 lines going right at the same time.
And that also looks pretty simple.
It is. I mean,
like,
that looks
they don't have a whole bunch of that board is obviously far more technical than ours is.
Right.
Even our technical board, the one we're not using at the moment.
Yeah.
This is definitely their for music and the little sound.
I like the little hot pad keys there and everything.
Yeah, and they just got probably the same MacBook I have sitting here.
Yeah, man.
That's a good setup. Yeah, no, doing a live podcast from the Smodcastle is now on my bucket list.
That is on the bucket list now.
It's on the podcast bucket list. It's on my personal bucket list. I want to have a podcast that's worthy of doing a live broadcast from there someday.
That's the goal, man. That's the dream.
Maybe with special guest Teresa Caputo.
Oh my God.
In Maniac.
Yes.
Keep it going.
Dude, that would be so awesome. We need to put out feelers. We need to figure out where Maniac is. We need to find her social media. We need to
call her.
I want to reach out to her and see if she'd at least let us interview her on the show or something.
That would be amazing. That would be so amazing.
Oh, look at that. Food and drinks available from our neighbors, the Quick Stop.
Oh, my God.
Okay, so what's the events look like coming up here at the Smodcastle? Let's give them some free advertising.
Let's check it out.
Friday. Oh wow, look at that! They got 3 shows per night.
Wow,
that's pretty cool. Kevin Smith's in all of them.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about Holy Shit. I've never heard of that. That was the premiere. But Vegan Abattoir is him and his daughter. Mm-hmm. Jay and Silent Bob Get Old, which is delightful.
I've listened to a few minutes of that. You turned me on to that one. It's him and it's Jason Mewes, right?
Jason Mewes, and he lets Jason Mewes kind of take the host role in that
reins,
one.
Yeah.
And so it's I enjoy that one a lot. I watched that one.
We'll get to Berserker. We will. We're about 40 minutes in right now.
I watch the Jay and Silent Bob Get Old, and then I watch he does another one.
Please tell me that he is Fat Man on Batman.
Yeah, that is definitely one of his.
Because that's so perfect for him and with comics.
Hollywood Babylon. Instead of like Babylon spelled like traditionally like Babylon, it's Babylon like BABBLE.
Like Babble on.
Yeah, Hollywood Babylon. Where him and his co-host, who's blanking on his name, but great co-host to Kevin Smith. They're both very knowledgeable gentlemen about film and television. It's all Hollywood related, so I dig into that as well, because not only is it Kevin Smith, it's all about movies and junk.
Which
so
I like.
That's pretty cool. The Smodcastle. I'm glad that came up in conversation. And then we're done with Stanton Heights. We don't need that anymore. The Gathering of the Juggalos is coming up.
I know. And if we weren't scrimping and saving to buy Chateau, the Gathering of the motherfucking Juggalos.
Yeah.
If we weren't scrimping and saving to buy Chateau this and that and build our new dream studio, then we would already have our tickets.
I was gonna say, man, I'd be in line already. So if you're a Juggalo out there.
The Gathering has been announced.
The 21st annual, which is crazy. 21st annual, 21 years of gatherings.
That is amazing.
Love rises from the ash like the butterfly. A stirring arises from the ash as the earth awakens and trembles. A flicker of hope. A flicker of herp.
There might be a flicker of herp there.
Yeah, maybe. That was an unintentional
Freudian
slip. Thank you. I couldn't think of the correct term there. A flicker of herp bursts into flame. Yeah, herbs would burst into flame.
All right, I'm reading this. Okay.
Yeah.
And in the flash of light and heat, the world for once seems right again. Psychopathic Records proudly presents the 21st annual Gathering of the Juggalo. Love rises from the ash like the butterfly as we join together once more in reunion, in celebration for the mighty Dark Carnival.
Join us for this truly epic 24-hour-a-day music festival that will not only feature 3 days and nights of concerts, sideshows, late-night parties, wrestling, competitions, seminars, and more, but also the most anticipated concert of our time, ICP's BRZRKR show.
Oh,
for
man.
those uninitiated...
In the ground!
If you're not initiated, BRZRKR, first off, I think any musician out there that has an appreciation for concept albums should listen to every ICP album cover to cover. I think they are the masters of concept albums. I don't think anyone does it better. Doesn't matter the type of music. They tell a complete story from A to Z,
which I really respect.
Yeah,
I respect anybody who's a good storyteller.
They have themes that follow their first album back before they were nobodies and before they were somebodies, and all the way up until now. Like they're masterful storytellers.
Check it out.
But BRZRKR came out in probably like 2000, 2001, somewhere around there. It's a double album.
Okay.
So it's two different CDs with completely different track listings, but the covers look the same. Let me look this up for you real quick.
Interesting.
Yeah, they're pretty fucking cool, and they came with 3D glasses. ICP's bizarre. One of them had eyes. The other one had. See, like
Here it is.
they're basically the same question marks and eyes. One album, two album, and then you open it and they each come with 3D glasses, and they were like foil, the covers and everything inside. So like the 3D glasses actually worked.
Made them all light pop and stuff.
So it seems to me that they're announcing here at the Gathering that they're going to be doing both of those albums
That's pretty cool.
cover to cover over the course of that weekend, or maybe in the course of that show. Maybe they're going to combine songs from both albums. But that's one cool thing about ICP. Every year at the Gathering, they don't just do an ICP concert. Their performance is something bigger. Like in years past, they've done, entire albums from their Joker's cards, like all the way through with all the interludes and everything. It's a whole experience.
The whole
it's not
production.
just like the greatest hits that you expect to see. It's like, no,
They're
we're
not
gonna
phoning it in.
No, it really does seem like, and even on their tour, I've seen their touring show a bunch of times. When it is just an ICP show, and even those feel bigger than just an ICP show. Last time I saw them, they had Clownvis. They had the guy dressed up in the clown paint with the big pompadour, doing Elvis.
Clownvis.
Dressed up in the getup with the shimmering rhinestones and everything. And ICP was like 2 hours late to that show, and Clownvis had to kill 2 hours. He did his initial 15-20 minutes and then had another hour and 35-40 minutes to kill. By the end of that, people were just whipping beer bottles at him and shit on stage. It had devolved so quickly after people knew that he was supposed to be off stage by this point that it was just it was almost more enjoyable watching him panic stall than the actual ICP show.
This happened. I have a similar experience where I was, for a brief period of time, I was the director for my a cappella group. Okay, in college.
It's like a symphony
and
of guys.
We
Guys
booked
symphony.
a gig to sing at one of the local bars, downtown, and we booked it for a time period, and we get there, and then all of a sudden we run through all of our songs, and all of a sudden I'm just oh shit, we have we got a half an hour
you got
left.
a bunch of time left.
We don't have any more
Start
songs.
circling back to the beginning.
Yeah, and that's what we had to do. So, and I was just sitting, and here's the thing, I totally I panicked. I totally I blacked out. I was just thankfully some of the other guys were just hey Matt, why don't we do that? I was okay. And I started us off I was useless. If any of my brothers that were with me from the BRZRKR committee, I apologize for that day.
The BRZRKR committee. Was that the name of your a cappella group?
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
I won't say what it is. That was an inside joke from a certain period of people there from a certain during those years.
Gotcha.
During those years, yeah.
This will be a gathering for the true Juggalos, the chosen, the family.
For the fucking family.
For the fucking family. I love you guys.
Motherfucking family.
Call Dom from Fast and the Furious. Family.
It will be a new fire, a new moment in Juggalo history as we rebuild, refresh, renew, and rise, igniting the spark of our dawn together.
It's intense.
The time has come for a new beginning. Quietly, distant in the woods, you can hear the sound and feel the ground tremble with the vibrations of music and laughter. Moments that last forever. The mighty wagons of the dark carnival creak and moan as they reawaken and roll on. Listen closely and you will hear the call of the butterfly.
Whoop whoop. I love how it says 3 nights of concerts, sideshows. I love to say sideshows, wrestling.
Oh, they probably got awesome sideshows there.
Seminars. I want to know what the seminars are.
I've watched them on YouTube. They upload them to YouTube, the seminar. It's like they get a big group of Juggalos up there, and ICP gets on stage, and they just
big whiteboard. What is a Juggalo?
They cover everything that's coming up on the calendar for Juggalos that the coming year, things that they're planning on, things they want to do, upcoming release dates.
Ooh.
The seminar for all things Juggalo and ICP, new artist releases, things like that. They
Everything Juggalife.
Yeah, they cover all of that at the seminar.
Juggalife magazine.
Yeah, apparently. I mean, like I said, I've never been to a gathering in myself, but it seems like the seminar is almost
2022 is going to be our year.
Yeah,
we're going to make it there. 2022, we're going to the gathering.
We will be in a house by then. I will.
Dear Lord, I hope so.
Hopefully, be making even more money by then. Hopefully, Amp or Maniac has made me a millionaire. scratching it up. I'm up to like 7,800 amp right now.
Brah.
I've been DCAing, so that all of my saving I've been putting away, and then all of the money that I would normally spend on food, like my daily food allowance, which is usually about $10, I've just been throwing at amp. So like I'm getting my amp back. I want to get to 10,000. So the day that amp goes to $1, I can just cash out with the cool 10 grand, pay some taxes, and have like
dream.
$7 or $8 grand to spend on whatever. I know that I'm never going to be a millionaire off of amp, but 10 grand is my selling point for amp, I think.
We are not financial advisors.
We're not financial advisors. I'm talking through my own financial plans here.
Yeah,
I guess. But no, 2022 Gathering of the Juggalos. Not only will it be a year further removed from COVID, which I will be honest would have been on my mind the entire time I was there had we gone this year. Even being back at work, being in a room with 300 people has been kind of nerve-wracking at times. I don't know. Maybe we all have a little bit of PTSD from the past year and maybe 14 months or whatever.
It's been weird. It's definitely been weird. I had that same feeling whenever I went on vacation, or when I went away for the weekend with my family.
Yeah.
We went to this. My brother-in-law, and my nephews all went to this little arcade kind of a thing. It was like a gigantic place where it had like any and every game you could think of, like cool stuff, like old school, like Mike Tyson's Punch Out, like all sorts of those fun racing games, and also the games where you're on the bike where it actually like moves to the left or to the right or anything like that.
Yeah.
And I was in there and it was great, but I was like, the whole time I was in there, I was just like, it's crowded.
Yeah.
I'm inside.
I look at crowds way differently
lots
now.
Of people now, and all I can do is just think about other people's germs.
Well, my thought is that there's this other variant of COVID going around now.
The Delta
variant that is supposedly real bad, and it's going like wildfire through the unvaccinated population of people, which makes sense to me that if you're not vaccinated, you could catch this. And it's turning out that some of like the vaccines that I got, the Moderna, doesn't cover the Delta variant, but the Johnson & Johnson has been proven to be effective against the Delta variant. So now there are also vaccinated people out there that are still susceptible to the Delta variant.
Yeah.
So that thought, whether it should be a concern of mine or not, is constantly in the back of my mind now.
It's in the back of your head.
You know what? I don't give a shit if you think I'm a weirdo for still wearing a mask when I'm around big crowds of people. I'm gonna wear a mask.
And guess what? I didn't get the flu. I didn't get the cold last year.
Right, literally. I didn't have so much as a sniffle last year. Not a goddamn cold, nothing. And I granted wasn't around a ton of people last year, but I also wore a mask every time I was. So
Asian countries have had this figured out for
at least
decades.
Decades, yeah, at the very least. Anytime I used to watch videos for anytime you would see like any kind of stock footage from China with people walking through what's the big intersections and stuff. They're all wearing face masks.
Yeah.
Like 10 years ago. Yeah. And it's like, oh, well, that's weird. Oh, well, now that makes perfect fucking sense to me.
It's like, that's weird. Why do they do that? So they don't get sick. Oh, okay. And
it
now,
makes sense to me.
We couldn't do that though here because my freedom.
We're Americans, yeah. Why could we ever do anything that would potentially
affect somebody else positively?
Yeah.
Anyway,
even our own lives, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, Gathering of the Juggalos next year.
Gathering's happening. I hope there are folks who are able to go. We're in the Pittsburgh area. It's not even too far from here. It's only like 2-3 hours.
It's regarded by many to be one of the greatest gathering locations of all time. Yeah, they're back in Legend Valley, Ohio this year, which sucks because it's only like an hour and 40 minutes from us.
Yeah, it's not even 3 hours. It's so close.
That's why they watch. Next year it'll be somewhere in like Idaho or something where it's like the traveling is also like driving to Ohio. You know, we could leave and go back every day if we wanted to.
We could drive there and then come back and it would still be light out.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
To put it in perspective.
We're happy to return to our second home in Thornville, Ohio, with over 120 acres of beautiful campgrounds nestled within the forest trees. Is the festival park
Legend Valley's an awesome place. I know a lot of my friends are
through Legend Valley.
A lot of my friends are like in like the Ohio like festival and like Ohio jam band scene. And
Yeah.
a lot of folks like run through those areas.
Legend Valley is the perfect place to celebrate our family reunion experience, especially due to the fact that it features the concert we have all been waiting to see, none other than ICP's Bizarre Bazaar show. As we rise from the ash of a difficult time, get ready for the calling home to our great family that has been waiting for a chance to gather once more.
Awesome.
No golf carts, mini bikes, or motorized vehicles due to safety-related problems that have occurred during gatherings in the past. Absolutely no golf carts will be allowed inside Legend Valley for any reason.
Legalize everything.
How are you gonna not have like golf carts or anything at the gathering? I feel like that's like one of the main modes of transportation once you're inside there.
Well, they may have like official use ones, but
Yeah, I guess so.
they're not like not just any Joe can just recklessly like get drunk and drive a golf cart around into people's tents.
Those with disabilities will be allowed to bring in ADA electric scooters or wheelchairs, and we will also have a special golf cart taxi.
There, see, they'll have a taxi for moving people around, but they have to do it.
No fireworks.
Oh no!
That dude, remember the dude in the...
Oh, just lighting M80s
literally
and just tossing them out into a
M80s
field.
into the field of people, just like fucking...
That's what we do. We're doing it here all
Due
day.
to the number of trees at Legend Valley and the time of year that the gathering is taking place, absolutely no fireworks will be permitted inside the park.
Yeah.
Good luck finding all the secret places people can hide fireworks.
The hint, it's their butt.
Man, look at these faces. I wouldn't want to touch one of their asses. If you can get a firework up your ass, sir, that is all you. So if you're looking to go to the gathering of the Juggalos, here's some of your ticket prices. A standard ticket for I'm assuming the whole weekend is $195. A single car pass is $100.
Those are sold out.
Sold out, so you can't even...
Oh no! Look, the Big Bala campsite is sold out.
Damn. Yeah, you can't even... So even if we did want to go, we wouldn't be able to camp there. ICP's hunt for Bigfoot.
No. You'd be able to camp. That's specifically the Big Bala campsite.
Yeah, no, but the car passes are sold out as well. So you couldn't even go and sleep in your car there. So are the RV trailer passes.
Oh, you'd have to like park somewhere or just get there.
Yep.
You know, there are people that will probably just spend every cent they have on this ticket and hitchhike their way out there.
100%.
And the venue's small enough. Even if you're at the very back of the camping area, you can hear the main stage.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Did we go?
We went there for the workout.
I have been to this campsite. Yes. I went there for the workout festival about 5 years ago. It was, that's an amazing spot. Yeah, it is a small venue, but it's a beautiful venue. There's lots of trees. A lot of people just string up hammocks. And just like you'll see hammocks, just the trees will just be covered with people in hammocks.
They've had at least 5 gatherings at that site in the past.
ICP's hunt for Bigfoot.
I would love to go on this.
Oh my god!
Maybe not for $350, but I'm sure it would be a fucking hoot.
They'd lead you on a scary hour-long journey down a haunted, abandoned trail.
Violent J is obsessed with Bigfoot. All of their little live monthly things that they put out on YouTube. Well, I guess they put it out on their own thing. Other people rip it to YouTube. He's constantly going on about Bigfoot and shit like that.
I saw him talking about Bigfoot, and I saw him talking about like how he's convinced that Velcro is alien technology.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
There's all kinds of weird theories out there with ICP. Yeah, that was
Fucking accuser.
you fucking accuser. So that's I wanted to cover the gathering because not only do we talk about Maniac all the time, we have Juggalos.
Juggalos are champions.
Represented right up front.
We got to represent all of our Juggalo fans
How far
out
into
there.
it are we? I guess we got to be about an hour, right?
We're just about an hour. 57 minutes right now, my friend.
Come on, man. Berserker.
Okay, we'll get the Berserker.
My love for you is like a truck berserker.
Okay, yeah, we'll get the Berserker.
So for those of you who remember, a few weeks back, Matt and I did a review of the first first issue, my apologies,
of Berserker.
the new graphic novel, created in part by
Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves.
Who the main character is modeled after and looks pretty identical to in some shots.
It's Keanu.
Yeah, it is absolutely Keanu.
It's
if when the live action movie or show comes out on Netflix, if Keanu is not playing the main character, that would be I won't even watch it.
It would be like the biggest like fuck you. I mean,
yeah, I don't understand how, but
or, I mean, unless they get somebody like amazing to play it, like Jack Black.
Yeah,
No,
I mean,
somebody
I would
off
watch that. I would watch that, but
Prove my point.
I don't.
I'm really pissed off and disturbed.
I am too at the thought of Jack Black playing Berserker.
Punching through people's faces.
Yeah, man, that might be kind of cool. Yeah, so if you're not familiar with Berserker, in issue number 1, they kind of give you a little bit of his backstory. It's more of like an introduction, I guess, to Berserker. You see him like tearing people apart.
It throws you right into it, where all of a sudden he's like on this mission. He's like, he's in the thick of it, but the whole time they're like you realize he's developing this relationship between him and his like, I guess like this researcher, but it almost seems like more of like a therapist.
Yeah, it does kind of
a thing. It's an interesting.
It does have that feel,
like a therapist kind of a vibe, but all the while they're talking about like what he's feeling. They're showing him like literally ripping people apart.
Yeah, he has.
He died suddenly.
He has
very suddenly. Yes.
Untold strengths.
Untold strength, and he looks like he's like immortal, and like it looks like he takes damage. But he heals.
Yeah, but he heals like rapidly.
Like Wolverine style, like really fast.
Yeah, so like I recently got issues 2 and 3, so we both caught up on issues 2 and 3.
Yeah, I read
have
them,
issues 4 and 5 pre-ordered.
Oh, nice. Do you?
Yes, I do.
I'm very excited.
Actually, I didn't do it early enough. It took me a minute to track down issue 4 pre-order, but I was able to get issue 5 pretty easily. But issue 4 must have, like, pre-orders that sold out real fast. It took me a minute to find a comic company. I think I'm getting it sent from Canada.
So this is really fun for me because like I never read comics.
I never read comics. Well, I take that back. I read all of the Walking Dead graphic novels when they came out. I was a big fan of those. And at one time, I was trying my best to collect all of the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comic books because
that's kinda neat.
The original artwork for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is fucking badass.
Yeah.
But some of those comic books are fucking expensive as shit. Yeah, I gave up on that was as deep as I ever tried to get into comics. I love the Tales from the Crypt comics from back in the day. They're pretty cool.
Okay.
But I've never collected comic books. Berserker is the first one that I was like, you know what? I can get in on the ground floor of this and actually follow this series, however long they take it or however they branch it out. But I can start from issue number 1 of Berserker and then learn all of the mythology as they give it to us, instead of trying to go back and understand all of this stuff, you know,
which is kind of overwhelming, especially whenever
super overwhelming because
they're already clearly established. I also read issues 2 and 3 today to get caught up, and they're really starting to establish like some sort of lore now.
Yeah, I was saying,
there's a lot of interesting backstory.
In issue number 2 of Berserker, you get a lot of his backstory that you didn't get. You see that he's from a tribe
80,000 years ago.
80,000 years ago that was constantly under attack by neighboring villages and neighboring
probably snakes.
And his parents his mother prayed to the gods to give them a weapon or like an answer to all of this pain and suffering that's being caused by the surrounding villages and shit. And the next morning, it seems like basically she wakes up pregnant with Berserker.
Yeah.
And then even from like a small child, he was able to like decimate things.
Yeah, like even as like a little kid, like he like ran over and like completely just like killed a wolf like as like a boy, you know. And
then later, is it in issue 3 or is it still in 2 where he kills his teacher? And he's like, teacher's dead. Oh, yeah. It's like when he's at this point in the dialogue, you can tell that he's talking to the therapist researcher again. But what happened, he's like, teacher's dead. And I guess in that cell, he's talking to his dad or something. Like, he's describing that all these feelings were built up and he couldn't contain them. And then the next cell is like, teacher's dead, and his teacher's laying there like shredded to pieces, and just I love the gore in this book.
It's very if this one is not for you, it's not for the faint of heart.
Yeah, the artists Ron Garney and Bill Crabtree and Matt Kint, and whoever's doing the illustrations is
doing a tremendous
job.
I'd really like to. It was really interesting the way he described like his like going berserk. He said it was like the opposite of being hungry.
Yeah,
he said whenever you get hungry or you need to take in more. He said it's the opposite. Is it builds, and it needs to go out. Yeah.
What else did he say about it? He doesn't feel fear either.
Oh yeah.
His dad told him not to be afraid in the one issue, and he said I have something like I didn't want to tell him I never feel fear. One thing I never feel is fear or something like that. And then the next cell is him like decimating a bear or some shit like that.
Yeah.
It's just freaking intense.
It's really intense, and they got me hooked. I want to see where where it goes.
Yeah.
Because
this is I'm just gonna flip through some artwork on the screen here.
Yeah.
Well, keep talking.
Yeah, they're giving us a lot of. They're giving it a proper establishing.
Yes.
Like they're establishing an interesting backstory here, and I think that this is gonna bring in possibly like other people like him.
Well, can you imagine once he actually starts time traveling, or time traveling sounds like goofy, but he's 80,000 years plus old. So like,
he says he remembers the steel biting, the sound of steel swords biting through armor and breaking bones.
On the cover of issue number 2,
this is the cool one. Yeah,
he's holding all the weapons from the different time periods
all over like history.
And I'll put a better
picture on screen.
It's the artwork up on screen. But
so there's the opportunity to show so many different things over the course of time.
So many different characters. I think in issue 4, there's a character in the teaser called B that they introduce that is now. They're hinting that it's going to unlock more of his past. I don't know. I'm just you said before, I've never really followed comics, so it's just exciting to me to actually finally have a comic book that I'm excited to see where it's going to go.
And then in the third one, they pretty much kind of leave it open ended. Like if you catch it where the one scientist said it. They leave it open-ended to the point where it's like there could be other people like him.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's ultimately where this is going to be. There's going to be this clash.
And I assume it's going to be like an evil berserker, where Keanu's berserker is like kind of working on the side of good, even though he's a very violent person. I think the natural progression of this, like exactly what you just said, that they're going to discover that there are more berserkers out there,
but they're using their power for evil, for this horrible plan, and like they're going to have to go berserker to berserker.
It almost reminds me. Do you remember the issue of Superman where he fought Doomsday and died? Doomsday actually killed Superman.
I never watched.
I never did either. But for some reason, that was like the one comic book I remember my dad buying when I was a kid.
Okay.
It came in this like black slipcover, and it came with like an armband that you would see people like that are mourning wear that had like the Superman logo on it. It was a neat comic book. I'm sure it's somewhere in this house still. But it kind of reminds me of that. Like, I think Berserker is almost like this Superman character where he's like, impenetrable. He says in one of the issues that he's been stabbed 1,000 times. And they show him with spears sticking out of his chest, like bare chest and shit like that.
Yeah.
So he's basically indestructible. Other Berserkers are going to be basically indestructible, but I could see them also maybe having handle over another aspect of the power that maybe Berserker quit his training, killed his teacher too early to learn or something.
Yeah.
So this other Berserker's out there, and he's able to, like, he's working on the bad side.
He's got force lightning.
Something crazy. Excuse me, sir.
I know who I am?
I don't like the lightning.
It's a little aggressive.
It scares me. I don't have my blanket with me. Sometimes whenever it lightnings, I like to wrap myself up nice and tight in a blanket like a little burrito. I could see Teresa being afraid of thunderstorms.
Yes.
Getting like a dog and just like running under a blanket and just like having a panic attack.
Do you know who I am?
The spirits are so loud today.
They're so loud. They're bright too.
My inner ear is itchy.
That's awful.
It's like one of those like ones that you need a Q-tip for.
You need a Q-tip.
And even with a Q-tip, you probably can't get as deep as the itch feels.
Or if you do, the next thing you know, you're going to perforate your eardrum.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be
scary.
That would be scary. But yeah, I'm just looking at some of this artwork. It has depth. A lot of my my personal critiques for most comic book art, especially from older comics, is all of it kind of has the same washed out look to me, and it's not very visually pleasing to look
They're
at.
taking
Whereas,
the time to draw out all the details in the background and the environment.
And there's different colors, the shades. It's all really pretty.
It's a really cool style. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's kind of yeah, it is a cool style. It has like, I guess anyone that's a fan of comic books, it looks pretty familiar. But to me, it seems like it has a nice mix of that traditional comic book style with like an updated color palette.
Yeah, with an updated color palette that you would find in like a graphic novel.
Yeah, almost. Yeah, exactly. And that's one of my complaints about old comics is that the color palette, it always kind of seems like it's washed out to me. And after a while, it always just... Yeah, gag me with a spoon. And then, this is, I guess, the time when she's praying... or thinking about praying. I don't remember at this point. Those are all from issue number 2. And
then she gets like zapped with lightning.
And then I wish I could make these bigger. I can't. I don't think. Oh. Well.
Cool.
I mean, it's clear. And like that's like that could be. You could change Berserker there and just change that to like John Wick, and somebody would think it was just like a little little fan art of John Wick or something.
This, I believe, that is the one thing that I like about Berserker as well, is that each issue has like 4 different cover variants, and they're all badass. They spared no time or expense. Like, look at all the gore and.
The first is like there's a head on a pike.
Yeah, this is from issue number 3.
Disgusting.
Which opens with Berserker defending his village again, and decimating every enemy that enters it. And you can kind of see there like him just punching a hole through this dude.
While just like arrows are just sticking out of his back.
Yeah. Is that another guy behind him there too? I can't tell. It looks like a face.
No, he just punched that guy.
He punched his head off. He punched his head off. That's his body. Okay.
Boom, just like straight up like rock'em sock'em, like boing.
Yeah, I just say I don't even think the Walking Dead graphic novels had gore this good.
It's pretty intense. Definitely not.
He doesn't quite look as Keanu-ish in some of these pictures.
No, which is good that they're making it its own character.
Yeah.
You don't want to just be like you don't want to just be a spitting image of him. Don't make it that obvious. But I mean,
it would be kind of cool to live in a little village like that.
That's my dream. I mean,
little huts.
I mean, not really. I enjoy modern conveniences too much.
Yeah, there's no way that I could.
But for a month.
Maybe a month. I could maybe do a month.
I do have a fantasy of like doing this own like I want to do like my own like Walden kind of a thing, like Henry David Thoreau. I'm gonna go find a little secluded spot and just live out in nature by myself for a few months, just like a retreat, and get away from I don't want to speak like words to a human being for like a long period of time and see how that treats me.
Probably pretty.
I might go insane.
Maybe.
I find that I have an incessant need to talk to people all the time. Which is probably why we're doing this right now.
Probably, yeah. I kind of feel the same thing. In issue 3, we do kind of see Berserker wrestle with his own inner turmoil of...
am I just a killing machine?
Am I just a weapon?
What am I?
Did you only want me... Yeah, like he's asking his mom, did you only ask for me from the gods to be a weapon, or did you want me
to be actually be your son?
To be a son, and
I'm just like, oh damn, he's wrestling with some real emotions here. It caught me off guard.
Caught me off guard too. I wasn't expecting them to get that deep. I thought it was kind of the accepted fact that that's what he was, and he knew it from the time he was a kid.
So it's really adding a really neat. It's adding a really neat color to the story. Then to like how this is. It's giving it more depth and more emotion than I thought.
Oid killing machine who definitely has it kind of reminds me, it's the Tony Soprano thing where he's like this murderous vindictive person, but he's in therapy talking about all these real deep inner emotions that he's feeling, and it's the only reason that the audience is able to watch The Sopranos at all, because if you're without the therapy scenes in The Soprano between Tony and his therapist,
Is that kind of the structure of the show? Like it's like it goes back and forth between showing him what he does in life and
yes, kind of, and then it cuts back to scenes with him and his therapist talking about things.
Well, what came out first, The Sopranos or Analyze This?
That's a good question. I don't actually know.
Because that's an extraordinarily similar.
Can the producer look that up?
That's the first thing that you came in. Like that sounds just like the plot of Analyze This.
That's Danny DeVito and
No. That's
Billy Crystal.
That's Billy Crystal and
You sure Danny DeVito's not in it?
Wait. Our producer's checking for us. Analyze This. I know it's Billy Crystal and Robert De Niro.
Yes.
They came out the same year.
Really?
Sopranos and Analyze This came out in 1999.
I knew Sopranos was 99.
I'm going to say it's an extraordinarily similar premise.
I was going to say I don't think it's a coincidence
either.
either.
Not to detract from either of them because I honestly love Analyze This.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Analyze That wasn't as good.
But how could it
what
be?
sequel is?
Yeah, how
but
could
I
it
still
be?
watched it and enjoyed it. You know, back in the days of renting from good old Blockbuster.
DeVito was not in it.
Yeah, no, I was thinking of De Niro.
Yeah, you got the name wrong. That's all.
How did I make that last one real big?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
All these are really cool. Oh, that's a cool image. Just him pulling the pin from the grenade.
I think that's one of the variant covers. As with this is the one. That's the one that I got here in front of us.
Yeah, this is. I didn't know what to expect. Like when you told me about this, I was just like, yeah, I'll bite. You know. And now I've actually read through the first three. I'm eagerly awaiting for when you get the fourth and the fifth one.
Yeah,
in.
I wasn't sure what to expect from it. I just saw Keanu had a new comic series coming out, a new intellectual property, and I was like, okay, I'll jump in from the beginning.
And seeing
with the first issue, that's why I only pre-ordered the first issue initially.
And
I was like, I don't know what it'll be, and I actually really liked it. So,
do you know when the fourth and the fifth are coming out?
I don't off the top of my head.
We're talking like a few weeks or like a month.
It's a monthly release, so it's definitely the fourth one will be out. Although it's interesting that they sent me the third issue as well right now, because I don't think
maybe they were like behind.
If it's a once a month issue, I got the first one 2 months ago. Second one, the third. Yeah, maybe I don't know. I know
they may have it more ready because like they just started this or something. They had it in production or something. I don't know.
Because as far as I understand, it's a once a month.
What you said earlier, it's going to be fun, kind of getting in on the ground level with this like new franchise possibly. You know, because like they're planning on doing an animated series and like I think or a live action series.
Yeah. BRZRKR's taught me that I don't dislike comic books. I just dislike having to do all the legwork of catching up with all the backstory of heroes.
You can't just crack open a random comic book nowadays and get into it. You'd be like, who is this?
Nope,
what are they doing?
I've never watched any of the Marvel movies.
Why is that significant?
I've never watched any of the superhero movies, so I'm
a sucker for the Marvel movies.
I don't know any of the history or the lore of any of these characters. Yeah, I mean, and that's fine. That's just they've never been movies that appealed to me. So,
but then again, they pretty much. Well, I guess no. You really do need to watch all of them to get them. Then I guess.
Yeah, from what I understand, you kind of have to see them all. And
you could watch like Avengers Infinity War without having seen any of the other like 12, 15 movies that lead up to it.
Would it make any sense at all to somebody who doesn't have any idea of what any of those movies are like?
It wouldn't be a meaningful film. You would watch lots of interesting things happen, but you wouldn't know why it was significant.
Is that the only one that has Thanos in it?
Well, Thanos is the one.
I'm so sick of there's. I don't even know if I should say this on camera because people might watch it. I don't know. There's a lot of stupid Thanos jokes going around the local comedy scene.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's good. I don't know. Like everyone sat down one day and just decided that Thanos was the new punchline to every joke, and set up to every story.
That seems late. That was funny. Like when it came out, like a year or two ago.
Yeah, I was just saying. I mean, it's just the same comics telling the same.
Well, there are tons
jokes.
of memes going around because, like, you know, you don't even see the movie, and everybody knows about the meme of like the snap, where if Thanos snaps and half of everybody dies.
Yeah, I get it. I get the references. It's just like, it's like overnight. It seemed like collectively all of the struggling comedians decided that Thanos was going to be their ticket to gold.
This
This
is it.
This is the topic that's
This
going
is
to
the
get
thing.
me. It's just like every time I hear a Thanos joke or
like, this is
reference in stand-up, I cringe a little bit.
This is my who's on first.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not good. What time are we at?
Oh yeah, we're at 117, man.
117.
Yeah.
Let's not dive into anything else. Let's just keep going. You know what? I'm sitting here right now. Maybe it's just because I'm low energy today, but I always seem to like the episodes more when we just talk and kind of get to where we're going.
Yeah.
Anytime we come in with like a
rigid structure,
like we're going to talk about this and this and this and this and this. I never like those episodes as much.
No.
While we're doing them, after editing them, I never enjoy them as much.
It's better to just go with the flow and have it happen organically, because otherwise, I mean, it's nice to have general topics, but otherwise, if we have too much of a structure, then we can't fully be invested in what we're talking about.
In the back of my conversations and
because in the back of my head, oh, you know what? We should really talk about this.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
That's the funny thing about guys.
I mean, yeah. Sometimes we overthink things.
That is very true.
I know that I do, especially when it comes to the show here, because I have a phobia of putting out shit.
Me too, which is why I haven't done anything creatively with any of my talents for until I've turned 33.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Plus, we want to put a good product out there. We're trying to do something fun. We're trying to do something meaningful that we can be proud of.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's why let's not worry about the next 13 minutes. Let's just
be.
Let's just sit here and
let's just be. Oh, now's when I wish I had some good like cricket sound effects on there. Yeah.
Enjoy the next 13 minutes.
I like that. Do the creepy heartbeat again.
Of us just sitting here doing nothing. Wow, I haven't heard that music in a minute.
Oh my god, that was the old news in that.
That was the news in that.
Oh my god, that was freaking
I guess
episode
we could,
like 3.
now that we have somebody working our sound effects, we can use that.
Yeah.
We can use that sound drop more often.
All right, now enjoy 10 minutes of Rich just scrolling through all of our sound drops and seeing which is which.
It's I did actually this past week when I was making my little doors. I put on The Sopranos and I got through the entire series again.
Oh my god!
For like the third or fourth time.
Wait, you watched the entire? How many seasons are there?
6.
You watched 6 seasons worth of material and just.
I think. Well, I guess technically there's 7. Season 6 is broken into 2 parts. So there's season 6 part 1 and season 6 part 2. They, when it aired on television, were separate seasons.
Because I do fully intend on watching The Sopranos.
I was going to say, I feel like
it.
once we buy a house, we should sit down and
this is going to be so
watch it together.
Much easier to watch through.
Yeah.
Every time I tell you, oh, you should check this out, or I say you should check this out, or vice versa.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if we could just put it on.
Yeah. The Sopranos is definitely.
Did your lights go out?
You've
been messing with them.
I broke them a couple years ago.
Oh.
And I had super glued it to where I thought the wires were super glued together, and I guess
wires have failed you.
Yep. Might be done for good if I can't fix it. Yeah, that sucks. I should have just not fucked with it because it was fine for all that time.
For all that time. No more
I've
lights on your mic
stand. I've lights
stand.
for like 10 years.
That's impressive.
My grandma got me a gift card to Best Buy for Christmas like 10 years ago, and this string of lights came with the gift card. It was very weird, but I was like, immediately was like, oh, these are great little lights.
They're nice little lights.
And I mean, shit, I've literally had them pretty much plugged in and on for 10 years, and they still work, except for whenever I break them like an idiot. God damn it, Matthew.
Oh, what? Womp womp. Oh, hey!
That's the side it came out of. Okay.
There we go. All right.
I know there's a sweet spot in there. There's a sweet spot where if you touch the wires, they work.
Well, that's cool. They phase in and out of colors like that.
Yeah, they always do that.
When we get a house, we're gonna have lights everywhere.
I was gonna say that's
okay. Accent lights, fairy lights.
This week we should be finding out if we get approved for a higher mortgage.
That's true. Yeah, our actual financial advisor is coming back from vacation.
I got a new job out there. to everyone watching that I start on Monday. That is like an actual real big boy job. I'm making a real salary with benefits. And
I got back my second job that I had before COVID.
Did he ask for that information? Did he want your second job? I feel like when I mentioned it, he just mentioned mine for some reason.
Yeah, I can't remember. We'll have to talk to him when he gets back.
Yeah, we'll have to talk to him about that. Make sure
we have to mention that because like both of us. I said both of us are literally working 2 jobs now. Yeah. You know, because America.
Yeah.
But that's another conversation for another day. The global network of capital essentially functions.
You're gonna give me a panic attack.
But no, we're both of us are gonna be. We have 2 jobs now.
Yeah.
We're gonna be making as much bank as we can.
I'm literally going to be making more money per year than I've ever made in my life previous.
That's the idea, is that we want to be able to... I mean, that's exciting. That's got to feel good, right?
It feels very good. It feels very good.
Accomplished.
I have all the nerves of like the first day of school.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like the couple days leading up.
You get the jitters a little bit.
I vividly remember the days leading up to my first day of high school. One, because it was going from a very small Catholic school to a very large public school.
Public school, yeah.
I feel the same nerves right now, even though I know that the job isn't hard in terms of what it entails and everything like that. And the subject matter of the job is right up my alley.
But you're going to be meeting new people. You're gonna making an impression.
I already know somebody that works there. She's
that's nice.
Part of the reason helped me get hired there.
That's always good when you have somebody. Like I said, it's nice for me because like I worked my second job I just got. I worked there before COVID.
Yeah.
And then it's a restaurant, so it was closed. And
did they change the ordering system at all?
They did
after they opened, because I know the club that I work at as well. Also, we have the QR codes on the table now. So, like, people scan the QR code, pull the menu up, and then I think they even order, at our place, they even order through their phones. Literally, the servers now only drop drinks off.
That is...
Food runners take the food to the table. The people order it through their phones and just...
I've never seen that before.
Yeah, no, it's the first time I've seen it, too. But it seems like it's, at least for our venue... with the way we have to hurry up and rush 360 people in and out of there for second shows most weekends, it seems like this system helps us make sure that everybody's checked out, paid.
No, that sounds amazing because I mean I also used to work where you work, but I was a server, not like a like a more of like a door security guy.
I think they're going to be training
like
Joey to serve there.
Oh, that's
what he said. I didn't hear that from the bosses or anything.
That's exciting / terrifying.
Considering Joey complains when he has to run food for 5 minutes about being tired and is late, I don't see Joey completing a full shift as a server at this venue because of how fast you have to work and how just constantly you're doing it.
I couldn't handle it. I'm going to be honest. I really couldn't.
Not a lot of people can. We have a high turnover of servers.
And that's saying a lot because, like, it's not like I'm unseasoned. I'm a seasoned veteran. I have served in so many different bars,
2 weeks
restaurants,
ago,
and settings.
I watched a 45-year-old woman who's been serving tables since she was a teenager cry.
Yeah, that place breaks people.
Yeah.
It nearly broke me. I had to get out.
She kept saying, I've been doing this my entire life. I can't handle this. And she was like having a fucking breakdown in the kitchen.
It's real.
In the middle of the rush. And it's like, this isn't the time for this. I feel bad for you, but hey, all hands on deck here.
It's one of the most stressful environments I'd ever been in.
I think I honestly don't understand why they're a restaurant. I think if they just stuck to what the club is and drinks, they would be fine.
It would be beautiful. It would simplify everything.
It would simplify everything. I don't think the customers would care. I've bussed tables there, and I see the amount of food left on plates. Our food is not great. I think the company could save a lot of money. And
the opposite, where I'm working, the food is exceptional.
Yeah. Yeah,
we finally moved into the future. We have the new the handheld things where I can take the order right at the table.
Yep,
it sends it to the kitchen, and then the newest thing that was just amazing. Whenever they're ready to pay, I literally just turn it around.
And swipe
they swipe their card right on the handheld thing. So no more check presenters.
That was the one thing when I worked at.
I didn't have a pen as a server.
Oh yeah,
I didn't carry a pen with me the entire night and I made it through an entire shift.
Yeah, that's wild.
Which
A
blows
pen
my
is
mind.
Usually like
Because pens normally like to servers, it's just like a good pen.
constantly losing them, getting stolen.
And these are the good ones right here. This is the fine point. Matt turned me on to the fine point. It like cuts through the paper like butter. Oh, I actually think I cut that page.
Damn right, Pilot G2, man. Pilot G2, the only pens I use. They make them in red, blue, and black.
We're not sponsored by Pilot.
We're not.
But I wish we were.
My first job in New York City was standing in the middle of Times Square holding a sign that said,
Ask me about my wiener.
Ask me about my Uniball.
Cool.
It was for Uniball pens. The NBC store had some kind of deal with them, and we got 50,000 sample pens that we had to give out. And at a certain point, it was like very clear that the customers that were coming into the store didn't want our free pens, so they would just send some of us out onto the street with boxes, with a fucking dolly and boxes of pens with signs that said, "Ask me about my Uniball."
A Uniball sounds like a medical condition.
It does. It does, and that's why I had to
Some guys
hold
get a
a sign.
I have a unibrow that I have to deal with. This guy, Lance Armstrong, has a uniball.
I watched a Lance Armstrong documentary this past week.
Really?
Yeah, what a piece of shit that guy is.
So, you know what? It's really upsetting is whenever I was in high school, I really, really looked up to him. I read his book called It's Not About the Bike.
I say I
all
get
about
the
his
impression
cancer
that a lot of
treatment.
people looked up to this man. He just seems like not only I'm not even talking about the steroid doping thing, not steroids, but
First red flag.
performing enhancing. I don't give a fuck about that shit. He just throughout the course of the documentary just kind of seems like a shitty dude. And I don't even think that was the point of the documentary. I think the point of the documentary was to make him look like a hero even after the scandal. And it's
Wow.
like he's kind of a shitty fucking person.
South Park nailed that with Stan.
I might have missed that episode.
Oh my god! Everybody was like they were living their Live Strong bracelets essentially, and then
I
everybody
forgot about the Live Strong
and then
bracelets.
everybody like cut them off whenever they found out what he did, but like Stan didn't because he was like, no, I'm not doing it. So he decided to stand his ground. It was this whole. Definitely check that one out. It's a great one.
Yeah,
They nailed it. All about wearing causes
I've seen like the first
on your arm, on your sleeve.
12 or 13 seasons of South Park all the way through, and then after that it gets kind of spotty. Once I moved to New York, I didn't have cable, and I just kind of fell out of watching it. But now it's
you're
like
you're out in Manhattan.
every once in a while. If I see South Park on, it's an episode that I haven't seen.
Well, it's kind of
Actually, more often than not, so it's nice.
kind of a treat.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's still new to me.
There's a handful that I
And
haven't.
there's so many South Park episodes that it's like there's no possible way, even if at some point it had been spoiled for me, like what happens in the episode, it's like whatever.
Well, speaking of episode, I think that just about almost wraps it up here.
Did we fill 10 minutes of
We're
air?
and in 15 seconds we're gonna be. Yeah, that's what we just did. Yeah, way to go, us.
That's what this whole time. After we decided that, my whole thought process has just been food.
Yeah. So on that note, this has been episode
19.
Let's Eat Burgers. Yeah.
Let's Eat Burgers.
This has been
I
episode
might get a burger.
19 of This and That. Thank you so much for all of our new subscribers. Thank you for liking the
We've
episodes.
got 139 new ones or something
New
like
ones
that.
just from
just looked
episode
before
18
we
to now.
started.
So we are thrilled. We are happy. We're having fun, and we're back, and we're better than ever, and we're gonna keep going, guys.
Yeah.
So
See you next weekend.
See you next week.
Tusk.